Alright everybody, Enrique Sultano here. I still have enough beer, so I guess I'll just keep going. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know how long more we have. But, I still have a bit more beer, so let's do another one. Then I'll be done for the day. Urim has been given over to tears, right? And so this is where the region Abraham is from. Now Urim may refer to a different place than Ur, Babylon or Abraham of Ur. I think it might be the same place though. So maybe this is all of Ur, right? Maybe this is what they called Sumeria. I don't know. Let's see. On that day, when such a storm had pounded, when in the presence of the queen, her city had been destroyed. On that day, I know there's music in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe it's drowning out my voice. I can always use this again tomorrow after Teresa gets me another beer. Let's see. But we're just gonna keep going. Because I want music. Let's see. When such a storm had been created, when they had pronounced the utter destruction of my city, when they had pronounced the utter destruction of Urim, when they had directed that its people be killed, on that day I did not abandon my city, I did not forsake my land. I mean, is this still like this chick who's talking? Because she's like standing there, right? So, like, I don't know what's going on here. Because she's repeating it again. It's like, I think that's one of the beautiful things about the teachings of Moses. It's, he talks about innocence. And if you're not doing anything wrong, then, embrace your innocence. And, there's this voice in our head which just wants to just shit all over us. And it's like, you gotta kill that voice. Unless we're doing something wrong. And that would be a voice that's urging us towards joy and prosperity. But again, I don't know what's going on, but there sounds like there's a lot of denial going on here. A lot of pride. Truly I shed my tears before On. Truly I myself made supplication to Enlil. Let not my city be destroyed, I implored them. Let not Urim be destroyed, I implored them. Let not its people perish, I implored them. I mean, we can totally see Moses, the Torah in here, because I totally see that. This is Abraham saying, don't let Sodom and Gomorrah be destroyed. And maybe this is only a technical connection rather than a theological one. Like he's borrowing these lines. I don't know. Let's see. Let not Urim be destroyed, I implored them. Let not its people perish, I implored them. But An did not change that word. Enlil did not soothe my heart with an it's good blank, so be it. Oh man, what is that blank? I mean, I think there is magic in a broken tablet. I do. Maybe some of these tablets were broken with poetry in mind, right? But I don't know. Let's see here. A second time when the council had settled itself in the preeminent place, and the Anuna had seated themselves to ratify decisions, I prostrated myself and stretched out my arms. Truly I shed my tears before On. Truly I made my supplication to Enlil. Let not my city be destroyed, I implored them. Let not Urim be destroyed, I implored them. Let not its people perish, I implored them. But On did not change that word. Enlil did not soothe my heart. with an and again it's broken. Like what the fuck's going? What's up with these two lines? It is good, so be it. What is up with these two lines? Maybe that's not a missing word. It is good, so be it. So I mean, they're judging her, right? Because it's not good. It's not good, but it is what it is. It's like in the Book of Everything. God will long suffer the unrighteous. So I think that's what's going on here, right? It is good. Amen. They gave instructions that my city should be utterly destroyed. They gave instructions that Urim should be utterly destroyed. They decreed its destiny that its people should be killed in return for the speech, which I had given them. They both bound me together with my city and also bound my Urim together with me. On is not one to change his command, and Enlil does not alter what he has uttered. Fourth, Kirigu. Her city had been destroyed in her presence. Her powers have been alienated from her. It's Jig-Tijah. Enlil called the storm. The people groaned. He brought the storm of abundance away from the land. The people groaned. He brought the storm away from Sumer. The people groaned. So it's like, he's abandoning the people. And it's like, why is he abandoning them? Because they're groaning. Instead of going out there and struggling like men. Like they should be able to withstand his storms, right? Maybe I'm reading too much into this. He brought the good storm away from Sumer. The people groaned. He issued directions to the evil storm. The people groaned. He entrusted it to Kin-Gal-Uda, the keeper of the storm. Ooh, what is going on here? He called upon the storm that annihilates the land. The people groan. He called upon the evil gales. The people groan. So, like, what I kind of hear here is, with some of this repetition stuff, and this is technical, and I could be wrong, but what I kind of hear here is like rock and roll, right? Because again, there's a lot of dissonance with all this repetition, and that's the style of this thing. I think this is kind of more rock and roll, because he's just like repeating himself, and it's like repetition can get, can be lower waves and shit, right? Grown. Enlil brought Gibil as his aid. What is that? He called the great storm of heaven. The people groaned. The great storm howls above. The people groan. The storm that annihilates the land roars below. The people groan. The evil wind, like a rushing torrent, cannot be restrained. The weapons in the city smashed heads and consume indiscriminately. The storm whirled gloom, and around the base of the horizon the people groan. In front of the storm heat blazes. The people groan. And there's some real feeling into that line, the heat blazes. Like if you've ever been in front of fire, you feel that blaze. A fiery glow burns with the raging storm. After the haze had lifted at noon, he made fires blaze. After the haze had lifted at noon, he made fires blaze. So, I mean, I don't know. like what I see in this line, after the haze had lifted at noon, where does the haze come from? And I could be reading too much into this, but where does the haze come from? I think the haze comes from the smoke of the burning city mixed with the mist of the morning. And it creates this haze that only lifts at noon. After the haze had lifted at noon, he made fires blaze. So, I mean, they're still burning after the haze lifts, right? So there's this real motion to this imagery, I think. He locked up the day and the rising of the bright sun together with the good storm. In the land he did not let the bright sun rise. So the bright sun can't rise because there's all this fucking smoke everywhere, right? It shone like the evening star. Maybe not, I don't know. In the delightful night, the time when coolness sets in, he redoubled the south wind. Oh damn, okay. I totally fucked that line up. In the delightful night, the time when coolness sets in, he redoubled the south wind. Right, so, like, I mean, think about good times in your life when you're out there, it's nighttime, and it's just a delightful night. You know, and there's this coolness in the air. It's kind of fresher, like in the dusk in the dawn. But this is the delightful night. There's all this coolness that sets in. And he's redoubling the south wind. And what's the south wind doing? It's pushing all the smoke of burned buildings and burned bodies in your direction, right? I think maybe that's what's happening. I don't know. After the haze had lifted at noon, he made the fires ablaze. He locked up the day and the rising of the bright sun together with the good storm. In the land he did not let the bright sun rise. It shone like the evening star. It was hazy. In the delightful night, the time when coolness sets in, the scorching potsherds made dust glow. So these are the broken pottery, like pottery was big in food storage. So you would store your food in the pots, and so, but now all the pots are in sherds, and they're glowing, right? Oh my God, this is some good shit. The people are grown, right? Blank or a question mark, the people grown. He swept the winds over the black-headed people. The people grown. Sumer was overturned by a snare. Right? There's a significant line. The people grown. It attacked the land and devoured it completely. Tears cannot influence the bitter storm. The people groan. The reaping storm dragged across the land. Like a flood storm, it completely destroyed the city. The storm that annihilates the land silenced the city. The storm that will make anything vanish came doing evil. The storm blazing like fire performed its task upon the people. The storm ordered by Enlil in hate. Right? So again, boom. Now here's a third emotion from the gods, right? So the gods are weeping, you know, and they're doing another emotion. But now here's hate, right? And so this is beautiful because it's talking man here. The storm ordered by Enlil in hate, like that's a man type shit. and yet, if we look at this in context, he's also weeping. The storm which wears away the land covered Urim like a garment, was spread out over it like linen. Fifth, Kirigu. The storm like a lion has attacked unceasingly. The people groan. Again, righteously, right? Like a lion is just rah, 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 rah. Oh, man. All right. It's jig. G-jaw. Alright, let's see here. Then the storm was removed from the city, that city reduced to ruin mounds. It was removed from Father Nana's city. Reduced to ruin mounds, the people groan. Then the storm was taken from the land, the people groan. The good storm was taken from Sumer, the people groan. Its people littered its outskirts, just as if they might have been broken potsherds. Damn. That's a good line. Damn. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm reminded of Moses when he says he doesn't have a sweet tongue. Like, I think he admires all these Sumerians. He just had a different style. Like, he's the son of Hermes, I think. You know, I could be wrong. I'm still trying to crack Hermes. But I totally see a, yeah. Anyways, no, this is good stuff. Damn. Its people littered its outskirts just as if they might have been broken potsherds. Breaches had been made in its walls. The people groaned. On its lofty city gates, where walks had been taken, corpses were piled. Damn, on its boulevards where festivals had been held, heads lay scattered. In all its streets where walks had been taken, corpses were piled. In its places where the dances of the land had taken place, people were stacked in heaps. They made the blood of the land flow down the wadis like copper or tin. What? They made blood of land flow down the wadis like copper or tin, which is bronze. Its corpses, like fat left in the sun, melted away of themselves. Damn. Damn. Yeah, no, these Sumerians were good, I think. I don't know. What do you think? The heads of its men slain by the axe were not covered with a cloth. Anyways. Like a gazelle caught in a trap, their mouths bit the dust. Right? Like they shouldn't be gazelles. They should be the lion. They should be the Ninurtics. Yeah, justice! Men struck down by the spear were not bound with its bandages, as if in the place where their mothers had labored, they lay down in their own blood. No, that's a good one. Where's the head again? Oh my god. Let's see here. As if in the place where their mothers had labored, they lay in their own blood. I mean, you lay in your own blood when you're just being born, right? Anyways, and like this is the Lamentations of Ur, right? So there is some real sadness going on. Like the author of this is like the gods themselves. This author of this is feeling many emotions towards this event. And I mean, he's feeling real horror at everything that's happening, because this is his beloved place of Earth. But I mean, and I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you guys think? But at the same time, I think this guy's having a lot of fun with words. What do you guys think? It's men who were finished off by the battle mace, right? Ooh. It's men who were finished off by the battle mace, were not bandaged with new cloth. Although they were not drunk with strong drink, their necks dropped on their shoulders. So there's a real weakness within these men. Though they think they're strong. He who had stood up to the weapon was crushed by the weapon. The people groaned. He who ran away from it was overwhelmed by the storm. The people groaned. The weak and the strong of Urim perished from hunger. Mothers and fathers. Now, like all these people of Urim are being killed, right? They're all dying, and that's what happened historically. But not this guy, and not his ancestors, right? Because this guy was probably a prepper. He probably saw all the bad shit that was happening, and he's probably like, oh my god, I better get the fuck out of all this shit. And so that's probably where the knowledge was passed down to him, right? It was from his wiser ancestors who were able to escape all this destruction. Because this man is definitely an ancestor of the Sumerians, just like Abraham in some way. Because again, they probably passed it on to the wise, and so if they see this Abraham guy and he's wise, they're going to pass it on to him. Whether they be his blood or not, whether they be his firstborn or not. That's not the way to pass it on. Let's see. The weak and the strong of Urim perished from hunger. Mothers and fathers who did not leave their houses were consumed by fire. the little ones lying in their arms. So who are the ones who did not leave the house? It was the brothers and sisters and fathers of the survivors. So there's a real intimacy in those words, I think. The mothers and fathers who did not leave their houses were consumed by fire. The little ones lying in their mother's arms were carried off like fish by the waters. Among the nursemaids with their strong embrace, the embrace was pried open. Like, that's some good lines right there. Oh my god. The land's judgment disappeared, the people groaned. The land's counsel was swallowed by a swamp, the people groaned. The mother absconded before her child's eyes, the people groaned. The father turned away from his child, the people groaned. In the city the wife was abandoned, the child was abandoned, possessions were scattered about. The black-headed people were carried off from their strongholds. Its queen, like a bird in fright, departed from her city. Ningal, like a bird in fright. Like, Ningal is not a bird of fright. Departed from her city. Right? Why did she depart? Because all the little birdies were frightened. All the treasures accumulated in the land were defiled. In all the storehouses abandoned in the land, fires were kindled. In its ponds, it's a funny one. In its ponds, Gibel, the purifier, relentlessly did his work. Ooh. The good houses of the lofty, untouchable mountain, Kik Nujal, was entirely devoured by large axes. The people of Kimaki and Elam, the destroyers, counted its worth as only 30 shekels. They broke up the good houses with pickaxes. They reduced the city to ruin mounds. Its queen cried, "Alas, my city!" cried, "Alas, my house!" Ningal cried, "Alas, my city!" cried, "Alas, my house!" As for me, the woman, both my city has been destroyed and my house has been destroyed. As for me, the woman, both my city has been destroyed and my house has been destroyed. Oh, Nana, the shrine of Urim has been destroyed and its people have been killed. 6. Kiriugu. In her cowpen, in her sheepfold, the woman uttered bitter words. The city has been destroyed by the storms. Its Kikjigal, Mother Ningal, like an enemy, stands outside her city. The woman laments bitterly over her devastated house. So the women are enemies of Mother Ningal, right? Because they're not being like Ningal. Over her devastated shrine, Urim, the princess bitterly declares, "An has indeed cursed my city. My city has been destroyed before me. Enlil," like, this is like modern times, like, where's God? Oh my goodness. Enlil has indeed transformed my house. It has been smitten by pickaxes. On my ones coming from the south, he hurled fire. Alas, my city has indeed been destroyed before me. So on my ones coming from the south, this is his family and his loved ones, or maybe his friends, and maybe they're even fleeing from the south, but they're coming up from the south and they get killed. So his ones are dying. Alas, my city has been destroyed before me. On my ones coming from the highlands, Enlil hurled flames. Outside the city, the outer city was destroyed before me. I shall cry, alas, my city. Inside this city, the inner city was destroyed before me. I shall cry, alas, my city. My houses of the outer city were destroyed. I shall cry, alas, my houses. My houses of the inner city were destroyed, I shall cry, alas, my houses. Alright, we're 30 minutes in. I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, my city no longer multiplies for me, like, good use. Its good shepherd is gone. Right? I mean, that's been his whole theme this whole time.